Germany announces new military partnership with Ukraine will support Taurus long-range missile strikes on Moscow. Chancellor Friedrich Merz hails the new pact as a virtual merging of the two countries' military-industrial components. Will Trump lend NATO support to this escalation? Good question. And we'll have to see, because I don't think he said anything about it yet. But this is from Leo Holman's blog over on Substack. Germany, under new Chancellor Friedrich Merz, has agreed to a $5 billion military aid package for Ukraine. And that will include making Taurus long-range missiles specifically for Ukraine to fire into Russian territory. Now, this doesn't account for the ones that are already there. Okay? And this is a massive escalation, just like it says. In what amounts to a massive escalation, the German Chancellor confirmed that Germany has removed all restrictions on how far into Russia the Taurus missiles may be fired in efforts to strike Russian targets. Merz said Wednesday during a visit by Ukrainian President Zelensky that Berlin will help Kiev develop new long-range weapons that can hit targets deep inside of Russia. He said that our defense ministers will sign a memorandum of understanding today regarding the procurement of Ukrainian-made long-range weapon systems. That's what Merz said without naming the manufacturers involved. Well, Russia knows who they are. And if they say that if they strike us with the Taurus, Russia's next target will be the German military facility that makes the Taurus. So this is from Sputnik. Ukraine does not have the technical capability to operate Taurus missiles on its own. Without German military specialists on the ground, these missiles are useless. Yeah, it takes a while to train on these systems. This means Bundeswehr soldiers, German army, would directly participate in combat against Russia, says Igor Kodachenko, military analyst and editor-in-chief of National Defense. Giving Taurus missiles to Ukraine's terrorist Zelensky regime and their use against Russia means Germany is officially at war with Russia. For the third time in history, Germany becomes a world war instigator. Yeah, but they're being prodded into it this time. And they were the last two times as well. But regardless of whether Ukraine's Taurus strikes are intercepted or hit targets, Russia's task is to retaliate with two Oreshnik complexes, meaning they're Oreshnik hypersonic missiles, which are medium-range ballistic missiles carrying 12 hypersonic warheads in total, conventionally armed. Such a strike would target the missile production plant in Germany for total destruction. If Ukraine continues using Taurus missiles against us, the next German military or industrial facility will be destroyed. We do not want war, we want peace. But under the UN Charter, we will act in self-defense. So there you go. Then if you go back to this story, it says that there will be no range restrictions, allowing Ukraine to fully defend itself, even against military targets outside its own territory. The production of long-range weapons, he says, can take place both in Ukraine and here in Germany. Well, not for long, according to what Russia's saying. And yeah, so we're going to have to see how this plays out, guys. But you can bet that if they do get struck in Moscow, especially with these Taurus missiles, Berlin and targets in Berlin that have to do with making these missiles will be destroyed. With conventional weapons to start with, they say. Well, we'll see. We saw what they did to that factory in Ukraine with conventional warheads, just kinetic energy warheads. They turned it into dust, into ash. There was nothing left. So if Russia strikes Germany and those military factories with the Oreshniks, it's all over. And like it says here, Russia would not rule out a direct strike on Berlin if German personnel help Ukraine target Moscow with German-supplied Taurus missiles. That's RT Editor-in-Chief Margarita Simoen. That's what she said in an article at RT.com. In a post Wednesday, Simoen warned that Germany could face dire consequences if the Taurus is ever used for attacking the Russian capital, a prospect that now seems imminent in light of Wednesday's announcement by Merz. In Moscow offices, it is being discussed that if German troops strike Moscow with German weapons, the only option left is for us to strike Berlin. She went on to explain that a Taurus strike on Moscow would have to be prepared and executed by German service members because the Ukrainians cannot maintain the Taurus or program it for flight missions. Responding to Merz's comments on lifting the restrictions, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov noted that if such a decision has indeed been made, it would lead to serious escalation and undermine current efforts to settle the conflict. And I'll leave the rest up to you guys to read. I think you get the point. And I've made mine. Wow. Time is short, guys. It's just a matter of when Russia releases the missiles onto Germany. And to be fair, that's what Amazon Alexa's little AI has said, that Russia will strike Germany first. Of course, they said it was supposed to happen last year or in 2023. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter, but it didn't happen when Alexa said it would. But it may very well happen. Germany may very well be the country in Europe that Russia strikes first outside of Ukraine. I have to keep our eyes open and keep watch like I always do. Now, on to some glacier news, landslide news. The collapsing glacier in Switzerland destroys the Swiss village of Blatten. It flattened Blatten, as Stephen Burns says here. Huge mountain slope is going to collapse next, so it's not over yet. And here's a before shot of the village that was destroyed. And here's the after shot. I have a better shot of it here. There you go. Before, after. As you can see, there's not much left. One person is missing because the village, thankfully, had been evacuated prior to this happening because they, the scientists saw the danger and warned everybody and they all got out, including the cows. So that's the good news. The bad news is there will be nothing to go back to. And it's not over yet. This whole slope is due to come down, is what they're saying, and the glacier with it. And so what's left here is going to be buried even more. So wow, guys. Wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes, famines, pestilences, it's all here. Are you ready? Jesus Christ is returning soon. He's the way, the truth, and the life. And like he said, no one gets to the Father but through him. Make him your Lord and Savior today, because that's the good news. He's the ark. He's the way out of this. You can turn it all over to him. If he's been calling on you to come to him or to return to him, do so now while there's still time. While there's still time, because there's not much time to seek him left. So seek him now while he can still be found. And don't forget, Don't Speak News is home base for everything that we do. In fact, I put a lot of stuff here, like this story here, that we can't speak about anywhere else. Over 2,500 of them now here at don'tspeaknews.com. All available for your perusal and research. And so if you want to contact me or subscribe to the channel, there's a box to do so at the bottom of every article, and you'll get one pop-up while you're reading an article. But you can also click on this subscribe, contact Johnny tab. And the way to subscribe is type your email in here, click subscribe, and you're in. And then to email me, it's don'tspeaknews@protonmail. And that's how you get in touch with me if you'd like to send me some links. And that will be it for now. God bless, take care. Johnny Storm, Don't Speak News.